Welcome to another episode in the 12 Travels of Christmas series. We're in Boston again, but this time with something a little different. We are at the Boston BMX and skate park, and trust me, they have some exciting people in here, and I wanted to see what they could do and maybe potentially doing something myself. However, because the sun's so hot, nobody's here, so I'm kind of waiting on everybody to come. I'm going to speak to the person in charge. He's on his way, and we're going to learn a little more about the park, how it started, you know, what you can come here, and it's free. It's totally open 24 hours for anybody to come. So if you have any children or you have family members who would be interested in doing any form of skating or BMX type of activity, if you're nearby Boston, you can come and take a look. Let's check it out now so we can see what's going on. While waiting for the person in charge to show up, some of the skaters started rolling in, and because I was super excited to be there, one, I had to see what they were all about, and two, I had to try it for myself.
Try. Which foot is your dominant foot, Yara?
Right foot.
The left foot you put first. Your left foot there, son. Left foot first, yeah. Left foot first. Right foot first. Oh.
Sideways.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a failed attempt, but because I don't quit, I just had to try it again.
Push her up, yeah. Balance yourself. Don't make it run with left your foot, Yara.
No, dog. You let me know where you go.
Yeah, skate. Man, put you up on a trolley. Let her go. Yes, Yara. Push her off with one foot now. Go on again, go on again, go on again.
Free fire. Get her. Get her. Come here.
You might come, you might come.
Come me get her. Come here. Get the fire now.
What happened?
Get the fire.
What?
Man, say I go to me. My man gone 3 times.
That close.
They're close?
Okay, that's it. Let's have a chat with the person in charge.
Alright.
What the hell?
Boston BMX and skate park came about pretty much out of necessity since I returned from England. I'm a returned resident. And I started riding here before I went to England back in '92. When I left, there was a pretty tight-knit group that used to ride and thing. By the time it got to around '95 or so, they started to disperse, and eventually the scene died out. Didn't really think much of it until I come back, and I realized I come back with a higher level of riding, and there's no scene to speak of, or not that I knew of. But eventually found out about some guys in Kingston who had a backyard ramp. Got in touch with them and realized that there are people still out there wanting to ride and skate. So I started to come up with the idea for building a park in my backyard. I started off with calling it Boston BMX Freestyle Jamaica. But then I realized more and more people, there's more people out there. So might as well find somewhere outside of my backyard, otherwise I never get peace, right? So I started looking around the whole of Port Antonio. Started off at the marina. No luck. People found out it was private. Couldn't get in touch with who really controlled that. Eventually kind of gave up a little bit, and then it got to around a year and a half ago. I was talking to a friend of mine from Denmark, my former sponsor, and he just happened to knew somebody who was going around the world building parks.
Wow.
Right, and so it just happened to be somebody that I used to know as a kid. That he was a kid back in Denmark growing up as a professional skater, right? And so he hooked us up, and it was a group called Wonders Around the World.
Yeah.
It's a group called Wonders Around the World, and within the space of 4 months, we managed to arrange the whole thing, and they have like volunteers from all around the world.
Right. So how did you choose right here?
So this place came to be when I was sitting up in a restaurant up in Boston, and I overheard a couple talking after a meeting. They just got there from a meeting, and it turned out to be up top here, Boston Community Center. And I heard them talking about getting the kids back into the club, the youth club, and reforming the whole community center and making it vibrant again and attractive to kids.
Yeah.
And so I just sort of snuck into the conversation and sort of like shared my idea with them. And they liked it straight away and said, come to the next meeting. They gave me the date. And when I was coming through here, I didn't even think to come here first to look at the property. I just assumed it was going to be good enough.
Right.
But on the day of the meeting, I'm coming in here and I look here and I saw the basketball court and I saw this place and I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
You know? So I went up to the meeting and pitched my idea. I didn't really even have a business plan or nothing. Just pitched my idea and it was all hands up unanimously straight afterwards.
Yeah.
And it just snowballed from there. As soon as I got permission, I gave the go-ahead to the guys to come from Denmark. That's where the team starts from. And then people started coming from Russia, Canada, all over the place. Yeah, America, everywhere.
That's good. What I like about this is that they're young. They're very young.
Yeah.
I can just imagine what's going to be like when they get bigger.
Right, exactly.
You know?
And they progress so fast within the space of a year.
Yeah.
And like even now I can see this guy here just doing a 180 kickflip. And not 180 kickflip, but 180 ollie, and that he couldn't even do like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of strong, fast progress, and the whole sport of skateboarding and BMX is accepted in the Olympics now too.
Wow.
So it'll be a perfect place for people to come and train
For training.
as well, and together with the skate park in Bull Bay as well.
In Bull Bay, I saw that one.
The two different type of parks.
Oh.
So this one will cater more to the professional level, going upwards, the semi-professional going upwards.
Right.
So this is a great training ground for the Olympics. And then for the guys really beginning, they can start off in Bull Bay, or the ones who just love street, start off and hang out in Bull Bay as well. But we go back and forth as well.
Okay.
So that's a good advantage, having different varieties around the island.
So in terms of prices, how much would it cost me for a board?
A good board is you don't really get a good complete board. You have to buy it in parts, like the decks, the wheels,
Oh.
the shocks, on a good level, good quality. So you can get a basic one for about, I don't know, 200 US, a good quality one for about 200. You can get them cheaper also, but then you start to sacrifice on bearing quality and wheel standards and the board standards as well. So you're better off just going for the best price, best,
Okay.
you know, the upper price.
So is there any store in here in Jamaica that we
Yes.
can buy it?
Skateboard Palace.
Okay.
I think it's called Skateboard Palace. Yeah, you can look that up on the Instagram. They do skateboards and they do shoes and t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. It kind of comes with it. No BMX shops yet though.
No
We have
BMX
to-
shops.
We have to get that soon.
But I mean, wouldn't the normal bicycle shops that we have here work, or
No,
it's
because the
specific?
BMX bikes they have to be tougher. They can't be sort of like the basic, like the quality stuff that you can find in the shops here. They'll just
Okay.
snap after a month.
Wow.
Fall apart or twist and break and snap after a month when you ride them in a place like this.
Okay.
So it has to be.
Does
quality.
the BMX bicycle is a particular size or?
20-inch wheels and the length of the top tube, which is from here to here, can be from 20.5 to 20.75 or 21.
So there's an exact measurement for everything.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It never really gets bigger than that, you
Okay.
know, unless it's a custom built.
It almost looks like a child's bicycle.
Right, yeah. But that's the thing, the whole design is just specially for stunts.
Okay.
So you
okay.
see where I did the trick, the foot jam whip where I kick the back
Right.
end of the bicycle around. If you have a bigger bike, it'll be too cumbersome, everything will get in
Right.
the way. Although some people can't, they do it on freestyle mountain bikes, but you will see those frames are small in the diamond shape as well. They're very, very low. So you
Okay.
have clearance.
Because I was thinking a mountain bike would have sufficed for it, but
So even there, you would have to change the wheels to something like this, semi-slick wheels, so you have more contact surface. So that when you're
Okay.
going up and down the transitions, everything's more precise and stable.
specific. So it's a specific bicycle.
Yeah. From
Wow.
the tire, everything.
And how much would it run me in terms of prices for a bicycle like this?
Basic one, this one, specifically this one costs 300 euros, complete.
300 US. Okay.
Complete, yeah, out of the box, it's ready straight out. the box. But then I had to change the handlebars to a better standard because it was a basic steel handlebar.
Right.
And that one side of that bent after 2 months. And
So the material, is it
it has to be chromoly.
aluminum,
Steel, chromoly steel.
steel?
Yes.
Okay, because I know the regular bicycles they normally is aluminum or carbon fiber.
Yeah, yeah, or just regular steel.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this has to be it is still steel, but it's a heat treated steel,
Oh.
which is called chromoly, 4130 chromoly.
So it's specifically for BMX.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's lighter than regular steel as well, but way, way stronger. So,
I didn't know what it is.
yeah, man. And that's the thing as well, like this kind of park, this kind of venue will actually help the kids to learn about mechanics, from skateboard mechanics to bicycle mechanics, different values of material. They might even take an interest in going to a mechanics school, you know, to trade.
Right,
Maybe
right.
even start building their own BMX bikes. You see what I mean?
Do you offer classes for
Not
anything?
so much. This kind of venue, unless you specifically organize it to be like that, you don't have to, because usually the guys like myself who are on a higher level, we just coach the kids when they come through to ask a question, or they'll watch and learn. You know? And you just learn, but day by day like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can organize classes and things, but it's difficult to find time for that really. Right
Yeah.
now, especially for people who live alone and have to support themselves and things like that.
Right.
So you just come and hang out, and when you can teach, you teach.
I think a shop here somewhere nearby would be very good.
Yeah.
Definitely. Just in case they
Definitely.
need to buy anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or rentals.
Exactly.
Rentals. It's a good
It's
idea.
a small community. Nobody really has jobs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So at the moment, it would be too soon. The shop wouldn't
Yeah.
really.
Right.
It doesn't really make sense right now. But after time, when people are getting good, and you can see that they've found out their niche, they found their niche and stuff. They know that they're a BMXer or they're a skateboarder. They're gonna need more parts later on. And you see people starting to work towards that and starting to buy things in from overseas.
Yeah.
Then they'll know that there's a market for it. But right now, it's just too soon.
So you're thinking that we don't, I guess Jamaicans don't have an interest yet or on that
yet,
level as
because-
compared to other sports.
Right, right. It's very, very new.
Right.
It's not even new because it's been going on here since I'm part of the first generation of BMXers and skaters here on the island.
Okay.
And that was since the early 80s.
Wow.
So we've been here since the early 80s.
That's a long time.
Yeah. It's just been underground because nothing here supported it until now.
Yeah.
You know. So it's pretty much where it kicks off now. roll back, you can hear when somebody's coming behind you as well. So you develop that sense too.
Yeah.
You know how far, how close they are, and everything like that as well.
So do you just volunteer to help these guys out?
It's not so much a volunteer thing. It's just I had to get the park built so we have somewhere to ride. You know, and basically it sort of takes care of itself. You know, when people come to ride, just like now you see it, we sort of coach each other as we go. Yes.
That is cool. The only experience I have of BMX is my cousin. He normally take off the front part of the bicycle and do all sorts of things with it.
We'll take off the front ear. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because BMXing changed so much since the 80s, you know.
Yeah.
Because they weren't parked like this back in the 80s. They used to be like maybe a wedge ramp, just like a plywood put up on a couple of blocks, or something just made out of wood with that particular shape. And then quarter pipe started to come in, which is this shape. And
Yeah.
then people started to get air. And before all of that, it used to be just ground tricks right in one spot.
Yeah, because he only had like a concrete,
Right.
just a flat concrete area.
So that's how BMX started,
Yeah.
from racing, and then the freestyle side of it started out from flat ground tricks.
Right.
Yeah.
At the time though, I don't think he even knew what he was doing. He was just having fun and trying to see how he could do all sort of tricks on it.
And that again goes to what I'm saying about having that mentality for
Yeah.
him, you know? He just naturally that way inclined.
Yeah.
Some people have to go through trying boards or roller skates or roller blades or BMX
To
before they
get
figure
their
out which
thing.
one is theirs.
Yeah.
And some people have all of them, you know?
Yeah, because I think I saw one person just now that they went from skateboard
Yeah.
to the bicycle.
Yeah.
And I know some people will just prefer bicycle or just prefer skateboard.
Right. I found that I'm good with rollerblades and BMX.
Ah.
I like the speed and the height. You can get bigger and higher and faster.
So what about the surfing? Because it's almost balanced, some more balanced,
I came
similar.
from a surfing background. Like the very first thing was doing surfing because that's all we had here.
Okay.
And I got into skateboarding because of a film set that came. What was the movie called again? Lord of the Flies. And a bunch of kids came and they had the skateboards and surfboards and things, but there was nowhere for them to skate.
Yeah.
So we used to skate in the house and scheme that I live in.
Wow.
The streets and stuff like that. And then eventually I taught some of the kids to skate, and then like, when the movie set was finished, they gave me a surfboard.
Nice.
A
Nice.
skateboard, sorry. And that's how I got into skating.
So do you have any females
Yes.
on your team?
Yes.
I was
Not really
looking
a
to
team.
see a,
Not
well, not really a
in the
team, but in the group.
In the group. Yeah, her name is Tati. I actually give her a shout on the way over. She was doing her hair.
She's the only one.
That really pushes. There are others, but
You know, I was that type of female that with all the boys' activities.
yeah.
So I understand just being the only female in the group.
Yeah. But she like this little guy said, she's better than some of the guys here. So she don't have any problem fitting in and doing it.
Yeah. And it's almost like a thing where you have to try harder to prove that you
I don't even think that's the case for her, you know.
is just having fun.
Yeah, just having fun. And she have respect from all of the guys around here, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Because she's that good.
So she's a skater or BMX?
Footballer as well. She's a skater and footballer.
Wow.
That's her main thing is football. And then she just tried the skating and it just seemed to work.
Yeah.
Alright guys, this is it for video 11 or attraction 11. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, this is super late, I'm not consistent, we're having Christmas in July, but I promise you, I'll do better. The final video is coming up, and trust me, this is going to be good. Stay tuned for the final video and the live stream giveaway.